I know how much you love my meta team recommendations, and today's video is gonna be all over about it. So let's see what we have here, because we are using a team right from the very few first seasons of Go Battle League's existence, and we're using Red Steel, the Metal Trash Can, up on the lead, while at the back both Altaria and Medicham are gonna be two solid generalists for the meta. So I also know what you are thinking about right now. Ganeto, you are super weak to a Galarian Stunfisk up on the lead and at the back with Altaria, so your only answer to that Pokemon is gonna be Medicham. I know, but still, you can do a lot of solid work with your Red Steel by staying in against the Galarian Stunfisk, and you can always pressure for that shield advantage, the early shield advantage. And with that in mind, I think we're looking at a pretty solid line overall. So over here, we're just gonna go in with our Altaria, and right after this move, I think that this opponent will stand no chance at all, because not only we can have the upper hand here with the shields, but also if they do not shield, they're just gonna go to town, and of course this means that we can easily manipulate this battle. My opponent here left this battle, and we're gonna take this solid victory to start off the video against a very bad lead. Into the next one now, and we're having a Lantern up in front. So Lantern is kinda problematic because we do not have a straight answer to this Pokemon. It can have pretty close battles in any single of our individual Pokemon, but we can always pressure for that second charge attack, and Red Steel will eventually emerge victorious. So with that in mind, we're just gonna provoke that switch out to Medicham, and of course now we have the perfect answer to this Pokemon, and that is a flyer on the face of Altaria. Even though they can have one Ice Punch, we can definitely let that go through, but the second one has to be respected, and of course I'm just gonna pop out the shield. At this point, we can easily go ahead and finish them off with the final Sky Attack. They want to keep that final shield for the third Pokemon, I guess, whatever that might be. So I'm expecting the Lantern to return, and they're gonna throw their energy pretty early here, and it is gonna be just a serve. So down we go to that move, but now my Medicham can definitely go in, start farming down all that crucial energy. At the back they have the Noctowl, so another pretty standard team like the previous trainer, because this time we're having Lantern, Noctowl and Medicham here, a pretty solid line overall for Great League, but our solid line is just gonna be much better on this spot. So at this point they are gonna be on a good spot, because they have a lot of energy, but still our Medicham, we can go ahead and throw it into play so that we can tank one move at this point after the debuff, and of course they're gonna switch out to the Lantern. With that in mind, I'm pretty sure that we can safely farm down, still reach to the Psychic, and that is gonna be the end for Noctowl. Even though they had the energy, doesn't matter at all, my Medicham is just gonna emerge victorious from this battle. So against Sunsless here, you want to stay in, you cannot switch out, obviously you want to avoid the battle with your Altaria, and at this point we're just gonna keep going with those Focus Blasts. I will always try to go for that extra mile just in case they are counting the lock-ons. Not everyone is doing it, but for those few that do it, perhaps they can expect a Zap Cannon at some point, but this is not gonna happen, and at this point we're just gonna go down to the next charge attack. Of course I have to block here, and perhaps that was a mistake because they went for the Ice Punch. Of course I couldn't know at this point, and now they have so much energy to spare even against my Medicham. So here comes now the first move. I'm just gonna let it go through. I just care about my Altaria and the shield advantage for the end game. So as it seems here, this opponent has their Medicham alive and well. I'm just gonna try to catch one Psychic on my Altaria. This is gonna work, which is looking pretty good, and at this point we are gonna go down to the Ice Punch, so I might have to just shield the next charge attack, and with that in mind I can rely on my Medicham as it seems, and not the Altaria for the end game, because we know that they still have this Aula Sunslash and they can pressure a lot over here. So it is gonna be a nice punch. Obviously this is gonna knock out our Dragon type Pokemon, and right after I will try to go ahead and completely farm down, but of course they are gonna have a Azumarill, and at this range and with no shields we stand no chance at all. Even if they do not have Play Rough, we're just gonna go down in no time at all. So we're just gonna take this loss, and now let's keep going with Deoxys up in front. So Deoxys is an interesting case as well. This Pokemon with those counters is just gonna do so much work against our Red Steel. So Red Steel here is just gonna try to tank one move and then switch out to my Medicham here, and with that in mind I think that we can have the upper hand even against a Charmer like this Ninetales, Shadow Ninetales from Alola. At this point we're gonna expect the Deoxys to go in because they can easily farm us down if they want to, and I will not get to Sponge at all. I know that even resisted Psychic will do more damage, and of course we can get a chance at debuffing this Pokemon. So I'm expecting the immediately throwing Thunderbolt tactic over here, so I'm just gonna switch in there with my Altaria, and right after they're gonna follow the switch to their Azumarill. So the battle is not over yet, they can still finish us off if they want to, and all I want to do here is to try and predict that Hydro Pump. Of course that was too early to be anything else than an Ice Beam, and of course now we can still go ahead and pressure for that potential Zap Cannon. I know that I have to block here, and I know that I have to keep pressuring for another Zap Cannon. We can do exactly that. Down goes a nice chunk of Azumarill. Of course they can still survive, but at this point all I have to do is to charge up to the Sky Attack and throw it. They want to switch out to their Deoxys, I want to take whatever they throw, and of course charge up to a double Sky Attack. We can do it right on the edge, winning that final CMP, which is pretty crucial. One Sky Attack for the 1 HP remaining on Deoxys, and one more to finish off Azumarill, just barely enough to grab this victory. Wow, that was a pretty solid battle overall. Another bad lead, another day at Go Buddy League for our Registeel, so we cannot catch a break at all. Here comes now the Ice Punches from my Medicham, and mostly Medicham is gonna be used as a safe switch here, mostly against those fighters up on the lead. You want to bring them your Wrath with Medicham to avoid that bad battle that you might have with your Registeel. So here comes now the Ice Punch, a decent amount of damage to this Pokemon, and of course right after I can pressure for a one more as well. So this is always coming down to the IVs, if Noctowl has a high attack stat or if it doesn't, but on this incident, as it seems, they might have a higher attack stat than usual, so they can easily go ahead and win those CMPs, which makes sense since they are a shiny Pokemon after all. So at this point we can easily farm down, get out of here with a solid amount of energy, and start throwing that energy with a Zap Cannon against the Medicham, which is kinda anticipated from my opponent. Good news about Medicham is that most of those Medis do not run a fighting move, they have only resisted charge attacks for your Registeel, but of course the counters is what makes Medicham a powerhouse for the Great League format. So at this point they have at the back the Mandibas, and you know what, we can simply go ahead, start destroying them down with that Moonblast. Look at the damage output, and right after we can easily farm down, getting out of this battle with enough energy to unleash a whole Sky Attack. Yes, we can do that, a little bit more, farming on the Medicham, and of course this is gonna be more than enough to finish off the fighter and get that victory once again. So into the semi-final match, we saw at the start of the video how you can play against this Galarian Stunfisk, and we're gonna do exactly the same once again. I'm just gonna pressure for the Focus Blast. I know we can always go ahead and surpass them to the first charge attack, because Earthquake takes one turn, I believe, or 2 turns longer to be reached for the Galarian Stunfisk, so we can definitely take advantage of that. Ganeto, you got this, and right after we're just gonna go down to the Rock Slide. So we did not pressure for that shield advantage, but definitely we have this Pokemon out of the way, and we have the slight energy advantage against this Medicham on the mirror, trying to catch one move, but at the back they have a Basadon and things aren't looking that great. All I can do at this point is to go for those Moonblasts. Of course this is not gonna work that well for this battle, because they can easily go ahead and completely farm down with those Smackdowns. I don't care though, because I can still rely on my Medicham to finish them off. I know that we do not have a solid plan over here, but if we can actually destroy them down with those counters, we're gonna be on a very good spot against the lower HP Medicham of my opponent. So we're gonna block here the Psychic, which is pretty crucial, and of course right after we're just gonna throw the Ice Punch. This was pretty too early to be anything else than a Power Up Punch, but I could not risk it at all. I guess I was hoping that they did not have Power Up Punch, just an Ice Punch, and I could easily destroy them down, but as it seems they know better over here, and we're just gonna get back-to-back Ice Punches. However, they farmed so much energy from that battle with Altaria, with that Basadon, so we're getting super low over here, right to the point that a simple Stone Edge or a Flamethrower can absolutely seal the deal up against my Pokemon, and they're just gonna take this huge victory with their Basadon against my fighting type Pokemon. Pretty solid victory for my opponent, and now let's move forward into the final one, trainers, as we're having another bad lead. Registeel cannot catch a break at all, so Zap Cannon here for massive damage on the Deoxys. Of course they're gonna switch out right after. Most Deoxys do the same thing all the time, they tank one move, then switch out, and now we have the chance to get a shield out of play with a potential focus blast. And with that in mind, I'm pretty sure that now I can go in easily with my Medicham over here and start doing some more solid work with those counters. This Pokemon is severely weak to the fighting moves, and now we can still pressure for the final one and that Ice Punch for the knockout. So down goes the double. I'm expecting that the Oxys to return because as it seems they have the triple pseudo fighting team that is pretty common. Perhaps they have something like an obstacle at the back, but anyways, we're just gonna keep going at it with our Altaria. So yeah, it is gonna be the obstacle. What a surprise! This was the 6th counter, so it has to be an obstruct, and of course by lowering our defense, perhaps they have a chance at their defense as well, but it doesn't matter because I'm just gonna go in with my Registeel. I know I have the shield advantage here, they have no shields at all, and if I can block here correctly, even though they have all those buffs on their defenses, I'm just gonna destroy them down in one hit because Focus Blast is a heck of a move, and the Oxys will just follow the same fate. They know that, they back out, and that is gonna be a great game to end this video. So that is gonna be all for today, trainers. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, and of course consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more of my content soon on your YouTube screens. With that said, I have 2 videos for you to check out, so feel free to check them out, and I will see you all into the next one.